From Julio Cruz and Gaylord Perry to Alvin Davis and Harold Reynolds to father and son back to back bombs. From Junior J, Joey, and Edgar with Randy, A-Rod, Dan, and the Sheriff to Ichiro Moyer and Mikey C to King Felix, Kyle Cruz, and Cano to the present with Julio, Gilbert, Kirby, and Cal. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. My, oh my, it's another sports podcast. Got to give a huge shout out to super producer Indy out there in Nashville, Tennessee, rocking the ones and twos. That's Vaden Podcast Services. Vaden Podcast Services bringing the show to life. Got to give a huge shout out to all the homies in the live chat. We appreciate the energy and the fire y'all bring every weekend, but we got a little remix. We're calling an audible. Guess who is up here in the great state of Washington, y'all?
Some of us try to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this. Some of us try to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this. To the hard way, live, one room, first time ever. My oh my, it's another sports podcast. What up, baby?
Oh, man, it feels good. Carter and Lee are together in the flesh. It was a really rough weekend for our Seattle Mariners, but let's rewind this shit a little bit. RG, I know you messed around and get a triple double. So tell me, the Mariners started out 3-7. They finished AL West divisional champs. Talk to me, man.
Dude, this has been unreal. This has been unreal. Probably the most electric ride that we've had in 24 years. I can never put the 01 season below anything, but this has just been absolutely amazing. We have the best single season statistically by probably a Mariner that we've ever had. We've had 3 to 4 players reach the 2020 mark. Julio reaches 30-30. Breakout season by Brian Wu. Some ups and downs with the pitching staff. But I'll start it off before we get into anything else. The people who probably deserves a lot of credit from this that you normally don't get from us is the front office. DePito and Hollander did the theme that we've been screaming at them to do, and he gets to make his numbers make sense. No barking at you this week, Jerry. No barking at you this week, Justin. You get a kudos for doing what we simply asked you to do. Make moves that matter, and goddamn, you did it. 56% winning percentage on the year. Number 2 seed going into the playoffs. What else can I say?
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, let's just dive into Cal Raleigh really quick. I mean, we've talked about him at nauseum every single episode. But this is real shit, dude. Think about when you think about it from a historical perspective, the guy passes Mickey Mantle for most homers by a switch hitter. He passes Salvador Perez for most homers by a catcher. He passes Ken Griffey Jr. for most homers by a Seattle Mariner in a single season. 60 bombs. And RG, there is 7 players, including Cal, that have reached the 60 home run plateau, but 3 of them were Yankees, and 3 of them were known big-time PED users. I could make an argument that Cal's 60 is legit as anybody's.
Cal 60 legit. Cal 60 legit. We're not saying that it's a record breaker by any means. We know the number for the American League is 62. We know the number for the National League is 73. Whether you put needles in your arm or not, to still hit a round ball with a round bat is a very, very hard thing to do. And for Cal to have 146 hits on the year and 60 of those are home runs, just absolutely amazing by him. Can't stop, won't stop, man. Big live shout out to those of you rocking with us in the chat tonight. Tyson Baxter. Yeah, it's a special edition. It's the first time in 2 years. Me and Ty, same room, same channel. Fun and fantastic. Shout out to our social media director walking around the background. It was fantastic, yo. Fantastic to be up here.
Hell yeah. Well, the My Oh My team, we spent the weekend together. We went to the Huskies Ohio State game. Sadly, the Huskies got their teeth stomped in a little bit. The Mariners life for your right, man. What a pathetic weekend that was. It feels like the dudes were hungover. It feels like the guys were disinterested. And I don't know if it's that easy to flip a switch necessarily. They have 5 or 6 days before they're back in the ballpark for some real live action. But let's just look at this, man. Cal Raleigh also. Only Aaron Judge has a higher WAR than Cal. Only Aaron Judge. And according to ESPN, Julio Rodriguez finished with the fifth highest WAR amongst positional players. So once again, we get the slow start. We wonder if he's going to turn it on. And the dude turned it on big time for another 30-30 season. And I've been shouting this guy out a bunch this year, but a revelation. And you were talking about how we got Jerry and Justin making the critical moves to put this team over the top. And we couldn't have improved the lineup as much with Naylor and Suarez if Dominic Canzone didn't step the fuck up this year, man. He stepped up big time, bro. And if Dom does not come through like he did, then we need to fill a hole in right field until Robles comes back. That means we're not going to get Fergie. We're not going to get one of the two when it comes to Naylor or Suarez. So him solidifying corner outfield and DH was a huge, huge deal. So when we bring in Naylor, when we bring in Suarez, this looks like a legitimate playoff contending lineup. And to top it off, RG, Dominic Canzone finished with the second highest OPS on the Mariners this year. Where did that come from, man?
Dom Canzone not only earned his spot in the regular season lineup, he earned his spot on the postseason roster, and he might even earn a check moving forward into next year, especially with the loss of Luke Raley, who a lot of us thought would be the guy who could step in and plug and play and put in different positions. The injury bug got him and took him right out. Dylan Moore, just like last year, had a hot start to it, but obviously couldn't maintain it. And sometimes he became cantankerous with just his performance, not his attitude, a good guy all around. But this was the year where the front office was going to have to come to the crossing point on whether or not they were going to do something. The team had to come together. Does your performance worthy us being able to bend what we really want to do and go out and go do something? And it couldn't have been a more perfect storm. Ferguson's the first domino to join to come in. Then when we all got the alert that it was Naylor coming, we all crossed our fingers, prayed to have the stars above. Gino gets hurt, and we don't know whether the deal is going to go through or not. And then sure enough, they announced that Gino's coming back. Canzone, what was it earlier? Was it this week during the Rockies series? 3 home runs in a single game. Just going out and doing what it takes, man, to get us up. Big guys stepped up when we needed them. Even the times that Harry Ford came in, even the times that the catcher's name I can't think of it off in my head right now.
Garver.
Mitch Garver from Albuquerque came in and did his thing. We got what we needed. We got what we needed to get to this point. And I'm telling you, man, this Mariners season has just been a ride. It's just been a fantastic ride. Even though this weekend went the way that it did, we are not done yet.
Hell no.
We are not done yet.
I like Mariners Lifer's point, though, right here. Robles is way too good to not be in the field. And this is why the Canzone revelation is so important. We have been inept at DH since Nelson Cruz moved on. And clearly, DH is a critical position. I still don't understand why so many Major League Baseball teams want to just use it as a rotating rest spot. To me, that's a real position where you can get real damage and real winning production with the right guy in that place. Dominic Canzone has relatively limited range in right field. We know what Robles does. He is 110% out there all the time, busting his shoulder up, making diving catches to save the game in critical series, in critical moments. So I couldn't be happier right now because right field has been a weakness for years now. And now we actually have a situation, RG, where we get our DH slash right fielder who is really ripping the shit out the ball. And then, of course, what Robles brings us with that defense, that speed and energy.
Would you like to see Robles play more over the weekend?
Yes, I would have.
Absolutely, absolutely would have liked to see him more get more action. And it's not that Mariners lifer that we're trying to keep him out of there. It's just nice to have someone we could plug in where the offensive production doesn't dip the way that it would. I know we all used to be frustrated when we used to have to run Sam Haggerty out there. And yeah, he was a fan favorite, but him in the lineup isn't conducive enough to get us to the promised land. Ty France, good guy. Congratulations to him and his wife and their family. We needed to move on from him. God knows the Jerry Kelnick experience went on way longer than what it should have. This team is now built for postseason success. I think we have a favorable draw coming in. Cleveland does hit well at T-Mobile Park, but one of those guys that hit well for the the Guardians at T-Mobile Park happens to now play first base for the Mariners, as Ty pointed out. So anything can happen. We're here, man. Let's win the thing. Let's win the thing.
God damn it, I'm getting pumped, man. And this was kind of a lackluster weekend to finish it off, but I get that. RG, I'm looking at something right here too. Is the Mariners have been in playoff contention the last few years, bro. And that's with a lineup where we're having 3 to 5 spots at any given time that are black holes that are not going to produce anything of any substance. I'm looking at this lineup this year and I counted it up, RG. The Mariners have 5 hitters with a 798 OPS or higher and 8 guys over 700. This is not something we have seen since maybe Cruz, Cano, and Seager were bashing the ball all over the ballpark. It's been a really long time. And you're telling me about being playoff ready, about a team that can maybe go on a run here. Well, you need 5 players at 800 or better. You need 8 players at 700 or better if you want to make that run because the teams are better, the pitching is better. And if you got weaknesses, if you got black holes, they will be exposed. And I love how the end of our lineup is not just a giveaway, it's actually kind of dangerous.
For the first time, we have a major league lineup coming into the home stretch to close out a chase for the American West, the AL West crown, and got production when we needed it. I know it looked bleak at the beginning of the month when we hit that losing streak, and then we caught fire. And the guys who we need to step up have done it. I'm also going to give a shout out to JP as well too.
Yeah.
His 265 average on the year is exactly what we needed from him. I personally would have liked to see more from Garver, but we knew Garver was going to be a risk to come in. We really have him to spell behind the plate when we need to have Cal not wasting so much energy and can use him as the force that he's been at the dish this year. Big shout out to Brian Wu, man. Big shout out to Brian Wu. Came in and really was a difference for the pitching staff. Castillo had some inconsistency. Logan had his injury. Kirby was down and out, and Wood held the rock for us. Um, what do you think? I think that Wu, if he's healthy, to answer the question first before we move on, I don't want to ignore the chat. No, they have not announced it yet. Jerry had made an announcement on the radio while we were driving back from the game, saying that they were going to wait until they got health results back to see where Wu was before they announced the rotation. But we got 5 days to get there, so let's make sure that all of our horses are healthy because we're definitely going to need them to help close this thing out.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Well, Tyson Baxter must listen closely because he is right. Friend of the show, Blake, diehard Cincinnati Reds fan, and the Reds surprise the league, make it on the last day, and the New York Mets completely fall apart. I did not think that they were going to keep this downhill slide for roughly 2 or 3 months, which is what it's been. And you couldn't be more right about Brian Wu, though, man. Leads the Mariners in wins, leads in starter ERA, and leads in Ks. This guy was the ace this year. And then I'm not crazy enough to say he's on this level, but just to give you an idea of how consistent Wu has been, Brian Wu has the same number of quality starts as Tarek Skubal.
Mm, mm.
Shit, man. I'm not gonna say he's on that level, but it just shows you how good he has been every fifth day. And I'm looking at Luis Castillo. He had a really rough stretch there a few weeks ago. Same number of quality starts as Yoshi Yamamoto. So Brian Wu and Luis Castillo might not be as sexy of names, but their consistency to help the team win has been there with some of the best in baseball this year. So shout out to both of them, man. And I want to ask you then, a guy that I absolutely love on this team and have kind of forgotten about. What did I write it down? Andres Munoz, third in saves in baseball this year. Andres Munoz.
Munoz had himself a good year when we needed some solid work coming out the back half of the bullpen. And moving forward, I think that we probably have the best rotation coming into this. If we can constantly get 6 to 7 out of our starters, Ferguson, Brash, Munoz, shorten the game, get us out onto the next one. We definitely need Wu to be healthy to be a part of that. This weekend, though, kind of scares me. It was supposed to be a good travel sports weekend for me coming up from the desert to the Pacific Northwest. Went to the game Friday night. Base running errors happened to cost us that game against the Dodgers, man. And then we fall off and lose that one. Me and Ty were at the Husky Ohio State game. So we came home and tried to follow the Saturday night game, man, and just bats failed us again. Then today, Clayton Kershaw in his final start as a professional baseball player just came out and showed us why he's a 3-time Cy Young winner and MVP, and most importantly, probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just went out and gave us the business today on a game that we really needed. Now, did it affect where we were at in the standings? No. But who really wants to enter into playoffs on a 3-game losing streak? Mm-hmm. But as Ty mentioned today, too, the area around Seattle, this was a victory lap this weekend. And to remind you of the infamous Kobe Bryant meme, what are we celebrating? The job is not done. The season just begins over again, and it's going to be hard work to get out. Think about this. Between Cleveland and Detroit, they've been in the playoffs battling each other the last few weeks. They've gone head-to-head twice and had to take each other out to try to get to this point. They're battle-tested. And then they're going to do it again. The winner of that series is going to come up here to T-Mobile on Saturday, ready to fucking prove a point. And maybe the guys had too much fun. Like I said, we were at the Huskies game on Saturday, and half the Mariner team was there 3 hours before first pitch. So that just kind of let you know that, hey, man, we might have done a little bit slipping this weekend, and the hardest thing in the world to get is lost momentum. I believe they have the chance to do it, but we're definitely going to need to see more than what they provided this weekend for us.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they got to lock in. And I'm not even in the mode of thinking they're not going to be able to, but you're right. It's not easy to just flip the switch. Like, you're either locked in or you're not. And clearly our guys were feeling themselves a little bit. RG's not lying.
Technical difficulties, y'all. We apologize for that. Thank you for being patient with us. Hey, when you're doing this live in a remote location for the first time, things happen. But hey, we thank you all for rocking with us. Ty, go ahead and finish telling us what you thought about Andres Munoz on the air.
Well, he was nothing short of fantastic, to be honest. So, well, anyways, no, I mean, Munoz has been shoving all year. He's been one of my favorite players ever since we traded for him. And he's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle, dude. And he's been an absolute mainstay. ERA under 2, I believe. Third in saves in big league baseball. But I want to flip the tables a little bit because we've been talking so much star power. Who are any of your underrated players that you are happy with this year?
Leo Rivas, man.
Yeah.
Leo Rivas came in, and when we were doubting why he had a roster spot, came in and proved why he's on this team, man. And hopefully he makes the playoff roster and can help find us, help us continue to build on what's been a fantastic season for us. I haven't given up faith on Luke Raley, but just the injuries happen to not have him in a good mood. And you asked me during the game, does he make the playoff roster? I said no. You said why? We looked up at the scoreboard and we got 4 reasons why. Struck out swinging, struck out looking, struck out swinging, struck out looking. So he definitely, when he has the time to get back into it, maybe something changes if we get as far as the championship series. But I mean, these are the most important. This is the most important 5-game stretch that this team has, and everything that we need has to be all hands on deck. We can't have any slip ups right now. And experimenting with the lineup at this time of year happens to be dangerous. But we went all weekend with Polanco having limited at bats, Robles having limited at bats. We didn't see Naylor today. We didn't see Julio. Hopefully, that little time to recoup was what they need. But like we said, the team actually has 2 live scrimmages scheduled this week on Tuesday and Wednesday at the ballpark. And if you live in the Seattle area and you follow the show, you got a chance to make it. It's only $10 tickets to go see and be a part of that. And they're looking for it because they want a crowd out. They want to know what it's like. They want to hear noise while they're out there doing this thing. It's going to be a simulated 6-inning game, inter squad. So go ahead and check that out if you do live in the Seattle area. But all that said, man, what a great time to be a Mariner fan, man. It has been 24 long years since we have been able to claim ourselves as the American League West champions. And I just kept looking up in the rafters and not be waiting to come back here in 2026 to see that this team's hard work and effort finally has the fifth banner that'll ever be hung in T-Mobile Park to celebrate the wild card from 2000 and 2022, the 95 division crown, the 97 division crown, obviously the 2001, and now 2025. Mariners are American League West champions, man. Can't take that away from them.
You're right, man. I'm really glad you brought that up too, because I've honestly been kind of disappointed when you get swept by the LA Dodgers. We know that this series didn't have any standings consequences. We know it wasn't going to hurt their seeding in the playoffs. But it fucking blows to lose 3 straight games. It blows to get swept in a series. So I'm not about to be downplaying how significant that is, man. You want to be rolling going into the playoffs. But at least this team, I wrote it down, 18-7 in their last 25. That includes 3 games being swept. It's just kind of tough for me, man. It really left a shitty taste in my mouth. So I gotta kind of reinvigorate myself. This is where Dan Wilson's leadership. This is where Cal Raleigh's leadership. This is Josh Naylor. This is where these guys are going to be critical because it was lackadaisical. It was uninterested. It was distracted, and it was hungover this weekend. And none of that shit flies in the playoffs. And you know what? I can live with that. If you don't got to work tomorrow, I don't give a shit how late you're out at the club. But they better be ready to go to work on Saturday because it is for all the marbles. And 24 years, RG. You know what the Mariners have been most famous for the last 24 years? You said 2001, set the record for wins and don't even make the World Series. And then the other pathetic milestone that I never will forget about the Mariners, they became the first $100 million payroll to lose 100 games. It took us 24 years, but we're finally trying to flip the script on this thing.
And flip the script we did, man, in a fantastic way. 90 wins in the regular season. And that's what we knew we would need in order to be able to get here. And we put the Astros to bed. That series in downtown Houston was exercising demons. And this team was able to get that done in a major way. Big shout out to these guys, man. Big shout out to these guys. Looking forward to Saturday. Really looking forward to Saturday. Too early to know what about times or placements or anything, but what we do know is that the Seattle Mariners are not in the wild card. They are the number 2 seed moving forward with the AL playoffs, man. Time to get excited. Time to get excited.
Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go, man. I love baseball so much. I love the Mariners so much. So it just makes me so damn happy to keep this train going. I want to dig into another guy really quickly, though. And Jorge Polanco basically got his pay cut in half and has had one of the best seasons of his career. This year, 2025, second most homers in his career, third most doubles in his career, third highest OPS in his career, third most RBI in his career. I believe it's 26 homers from Jorge Polanco. Holy shit, another revelation. If you want to take this thing deep, and this goes for any sport, you need what I call your semi-stars to ball out. And we're getting that from guys like Polanco, guys like JP. And I'm so glad you brought up Rivas. Rivas has been a revelation this year, and he's such an easy guy to cheer for. 10 years in the minors before he got his big league opportunity. And you know what? That guy never wants to go back.
He's made the most of an opportunity that he's fought his whole life for. The other guy I want to shout out to is Randy Rosarena.
Yes.
A 2020 year from it. So you consider Julio 30-30 or Rosarena 2020, even though a lot of that didn't come with the team. Josh Naylor has his, and then his impact is to the lineup, man. The moves that he made came here and produced. Gino only ended up with 9 home runs after the trade, but his impact bat in the lineup and a solid third base was everything that we've needed from him. And I don't know about you, but I can't wait for us to cut Josh Naylor a check. I want that guy to be a part of this team. Somebody answer me this. How is he statistically the third slowest player in all of Major League Baseball with 29 steals on the year, and he's only been caught twice? Smart on the base pass is what that guy is, and God knows we need it. Did he have a snafu on Friday night? He sure did, man. That cost us a run that probably could have kept us in the game. But overall, man, I'm not going to weigh his one mistake over what he's done for us, and I'm happy that he's a Mariner and part of the team.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay, live chat. I want y'all to give me your answers. RG, I want to get your answers. I honestly don't think there's much of a question about who the 4 starters are going to be in the playoffs, but let's just assume Woo's Peck is okay. How are you going to roll out with your starting 4 rotation?
Woo, LOG, the triple OG. I'm going to flip it up and throw Castillo and then Kirby for 4.
Okay. I can live with that. Man. And I think it's got to be Woo and Logan at the top. And the beautiful thing is all 4 of those pitchers are surging at the right time. And in the peaks of valley of 162 games, RG, we really saw the pitching be hindered by injury. Our guys like Kirby and Logan struggled to find their A game coming back from injury midseason. But god damn it, they freaking did it. And I think this is as formidable 4 as anyone else can roll out there. And get raked. We're glad you're back, man. This is the People Show, and we don't say it out of bullshit. The live chat brings a fire and an energy that my oh my did not have until all of y'all have been contributing so much. So thank you. Y'all are always welcome. You're a critical part of the show. And okay, this is what I like. Tommy's going Logan, Kirby, Woo, Castillo. every single person has Castillo as the fourth guy besides you, and it's a toss-up for me there with Castillo and Kirby. So I just have one question, and take it however you want to go with it, dude. But Luis Castillo, I mean, every pitcher on the Mariners staff has pretty big home road splits. Castillo is the biggest. Is there any part of you that would want Castillo to go first or second to get him at home, or do you want to put him where he traditionally belongs amongst these starters?
I just think the playoffs is a different type of animal that he's built for. It's just something in his personality. I think he's built for this moment. Regular season is a grind, it's a stretch, it's a very long 162 game journey. This is, in essence, for each pitcher that's coming up, a 1 game season because you don't know if you're getting the ball again in the next 6 to 7 days. I think Castillo's kind of built for that. I would want to see him go game 3. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert, but this is why we're here discussing our thoughts and opinions in a platform that is conducive to friendliness and just everybody can come with their own opinion. I just think that if it's me that's making that call, I'm starting in game 3. Now, if we are down 0-2, then I'm going absolutely Kirby game 3 because I got to give us a chance to get this back in. If we end up with a bullpen needed start, we have like a 1-1 split, just trying to tread water. I might even go Miller with it today. He did solid. He did solid today. I would have liked to see him go a little bit longer before we went into the bullpen. I will tell you the one guy I don't want to see on the mound this first series, and that's Bizzardo. He's come in and he's found a way to give up runs when we shouldn't be giving up runs in his position. And I know that I don't want to harp on anything negative and kill the good vibes, but if there's one guy who they may need to sit down and try to work on something, his mechanics, and get him back. He threw this slider today that was just unreal. I want to say he threw it to Michael Conforto. It started out dead red and looked like a damn fastball, and then the bottom gave out of it 50 feet later, and Conforto looked like a fucking idiot up there trying to swing at this thing. I need more of that from him, but expecting him to go 1-2 to bridge the gap isn't what we need. We needed Thornton for that, and unfortunately, Thornton's going to be injured. So I say that Miller gets put in those positions where we need someone to come in and eat up 2 to 3 innings to not completely tax the bullpen. The rookie that stepped in and started in Miller's place.
Oh, Logan Evans.
Logan Evans, where's he at in the mix of this? Does he make the playoff roster?
No.
To knowing that he can come in and just give us a couple innings. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we definitely need that. We had the conversation of does Ford or Nicole Young make the playoff record while we were at the game. I don't think either one of them make it. If one of them does make it, kudos off to him. I think we might need to load up on another arm just to be able to eat up some innings if we get caught in some situations like that.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. For the playoffs, I'm putting all my arms in there. And especially with a lineup like this, RG, because I don't see it really any spot that I feel is a dire need to pinch hit late. And so if I feel like my lineup is solidified enough that I'm not just automatically pinch hitting, I need speed. I need defense. We look back. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. We all remember when he pinched and stole second base. The rest is history for the Red Sox. That could easily be Leo Rivas pinch running for a Geno Suarez or something of that nature. That speed will be critical. We need the extra arms. And let's look at the bullpen then really quickly. You're talking about Bizzardo, and he's had a really good season, but you're right. He's had a couple of rough outings lately. I feel like he's probably going to be a relatively high leverage guy, regardless of his finish, just because I don't think that our bullpen has great depth. You kind of got to throw guys out there at a certain point. But who would be your top 3 to 4 leverage arms in critical spots late in games out of the pen?
Well, like I said earlier, in a perfect world, we're going Ferguson, Brash, Munoz.
Okay.
And if we can get this game to the 7th, that should be a no-brainer. If the starter is up there dealing, let him run. Let him run. If someone is up there giving a Jack Morris performance, throwing 11 innings of 1-run baseball in the playoffs, let that motherfucker go. realistically, we want Ferguson, Brash, Munoz to make these games 7-inning games. But then again, we're going to talk about this. There are ups and downs and ebbs and flows in life. And if you have been a fan of this team long enough, there are times where we offensively go on hiatus. We cannot have that over the next 7 games. And if we happen to do, we need solid performance from these guys. I am not a big fan of the quality start stat. Well, take that back. I'm only not a big fan of it because like with Marcos Gonzalez, we used it to justify why he's on the staff. And even though we would lose 3-0 with him, it was he only gave up 3 runs. That's still, I'm not a fan of that. I don't want a second place trophy award for it. But right now, we need as many 7 innings, 3 runs or less performances as we can get over the next 3 weeks while this thing is going on. Where they're going to come from consistently outside of Wu, time remains to be seen. But Logan's kind of had a down year with the injury. Kirby's been coming around slowly. Castillo, hey man, but I still believe that these 4 guys are the best 4 guys that we can ask for moving forward with this. Chat, what do you think about it? Where are we missing anything with the rotation, or there's something that you might have pointed out that we can't think of right now? Just telling you, man, give it to us, chat.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, let's go into Get Rick's question then, and he's asking, who would you prefer to play? It's definitely going to be either Cleveland or Detroit. Cleveland's given us fits at T-Mobile. They are the vastly hotter team. I still think I'd rather play Cleveland.
I'd rather play Detroit.
Okay.
And I'll give you a reason why. 2021, the Braves were sub 500 going into the All-Star break and got as hot as fish grease the last half of the year. And if you remember when the Wayback Machine, anything post-COVID with baseball and how that happened to go, the Braves rode that hot streak all the way into beating Houston in Game 7 for the World Series title. They're the team that no one wants to play. So we need Detroit to figure out a way to get them up out of here. Because they're the team that's the uninvited guest that snuck in, that's playing with house money. That's a dangerous situation in a playoff series. Get them the hell out of here. I'd rather see Detroit.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. The one thing I really don't like about Detroit is having a true elite ace. Seems like it can guarantee you a win at times, even though it clearly doesn't. History tells us that. But we were talking about any
we touched Scooble up this year.
Yeah, we did.
We touched Scooble
But are we going to do that again?
Hey, man, these guys. Hey, you've seen it.
You're right, though. My favorite at bat of the entire season by Julio was against Scooble. He falls behind the count and battles his way. I think it might have even just been a single, but maybe it was a bomb. Either way, that's besides the point. 162 games is going to get lost in the mix a little bit. You're talking about guys eating innings, and I forgot to write this down, and I meant to at the time. I know it's just the Colorado Rockies, but Emerson Hancock got his swag back, dude, and that's really freaking important because he was struggling so much. You could see in his face, in his eyes, his confidence wasn't there. Confidence is everything. You're going to fail even if you believe you can do it. So if you don't believe you can do it, I promise you're going to fail. So him getting his swag back is critical. It's funny you brought up Marco because I hope Jerry and his staff and Dan and the coaches learned a valuable lesson when we got swept by the Astros a few years ago. We go in that 18th inning game and they didn't put Marco on the roster. Framber Valdez goes for what? 6, 7, 8 innings, it felt like, and he locked it down. And while he locked it down, we blew up our entire bullpen. We didn't have a guy that can go long innings. And if we had Marco, maybe we lose the game, but the bullpen doesn't get blown up. Emerson Hancock and Bryce Miller have to be in this bullpen. I think they both have stuff. They both have high velocity fastballs that can get guys out in critical spots. But like you said, we got caught with our pants down against the Astros by not having enough long inning pitchers on the roster. We cannot make that mistake this year, and there's 2 young men that can definitely do it.
I use a boxing analogy where I say we need a guy who who has enough to be able to keep him off you. Has enough to be able to keep him off you. And then when we can get to Brash and Munoz, the keep him off you turns into trying to knock you out. I love the idea. I love the idea of it using them combined. That's why I mentioned, even though he got off to a rocky start with it, Logan Evans has shown that he can come in and do that. Emerson can go and do that. But Bizarro's not the guy that we're gonna. I don't think Bizarro's the guy that we're gonna do for that. It seems to be in his head a little bit. Has trouble consistently not finding too much of the plate. But then he shows signs that he has it. Like I said, when they showed that replay of that slider he threw today to Conforto, it was just like, God, man, six of those in the inning just completely changes the dynamic of how his outings have seemed to go. But in all essence, these are good problems to have. Why? Because the Mariners are fucking in the playoffs.
Woo-hoo! Let's go. And we're not just crawling in on the last day. We've been settled in to the point we know that these guys weren't really ready for a weekend series against a team as good as the Dodgers. I want to get into this for a minute, though. We can jump back into the Mariners if we want to. But we were fortunate enough to see a legend make what's probably going to be his last start in the major leagues, and that's Clayton Kershaw. And he is a throwback. He is the last of the Mohicans, so to speak. Talk to me about Kershaw, and we saw his last start most likely.
That wind-up is probably one of the last iconic wind-ups. The way he starts with his hands, overcomes the way he starts together, his motion to the mound. Clayton Kershaw is undeniable. 3-time Cy Young winner, MVP, and 2 World Series championships. And I'm probably the last guy that's going to get to 3,000 strikeouts. His bread and butter is that curveball. Oh. And we saw it in action today. He threw one to Randy that turned Randy into click, click, click. And Randy couldn't do anything with it. 72 to 73 miles an hour, just when you know it's coming. And the deceptiveness of the high break of that pitch when he throws his fastball makes that 91 mile an hour fastball damn near seem like 99. Just a warrior, man, a warrior in every sense of the word, and a really good guy, too. So it was real nice to see, to get to be a part of his last start. You should have heard the ovation if you weren't there watching the game, wherever you consume your baseball from. When the Dodgers pulled him out, the whole stadium erupted for him, because he is the last of a dying breed, and it was nice to get a chance to be a part of his start today. And he still showed you that there's still levels to this shit. I may be in this for 18 years, but I know how to get the job done, and was spinning a no-no against us up until Master Boney got that masturbation rub one out. Yeah, man, but he showed what it is, pure class the whole way. They got a couple guys over there in their organization that the difference between hating the Yankees and hating the Dodgers dynasty is that they do have some really good people in that dugout. You may not like the way that they configure the salary cap, but that's up to someone else to figure out how to catch up and not complain that they can't do it. But Clayton Kershaw, man, hats off to him for an amazing career. His postseason record, when you compare it to someone like Greg Maddux, they don't have a lot of postseason wins. He's been touched up in the playoffs a couple times, but I personally still think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I really do, just because of his work in the regular season. So again, if we're going to get into the conversation of if Felix is a Hall of Famer, well, I'm definitely going to take the guy that has 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP, and 2 World Series trophies in that argument as well, too. So hell of a career to one, Mr. Clayton Kershaw. It was a pleasure to get to see you work, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I can't emphasize enough what RG said. That curveball was buckling knees today. I literally made the comment, don't retire. You still got some juice, and I decided to bring it up right now because RG, he was playing the Mariners JV squad. Plus, at the very end of the year, you don't know, he could have just gotten a little bit of adrenaline. But the guy went 11-2 with a 3.36 ERA this year. He could still keep going if he wanted to. I get it, though, man. He made his debut in 2008. We're in 2025. The guy made his debut during the Great Recession, and he's still fucking pitching 5 years after COVID. What a freaking career! And I'm with you. First ballot all the way. I'm looking at it. There's no denying it. He's got a 4.49 career ERA in the postseason, which obviously is way below his career stats. It's way below what you would even want from an average pitcher, but in that smaller sample size, it's easy for things to get out of control. And that was the perfect comparison because I don't have the stats in front of me, but in my brain, I remember that John Smoltz was the better postseason pitcher than the unbelievable Greg Maddux. Some guys' stuff just play better in the postseason than others, and that's how it is. But I like to look at guys' peaks, RG. Like at your peak, how dominant were you? I'm looking. There's a 4 year stretch, RG, from 2013 to 2016. 3 out of those 4 years, he had an ERA under 2.
Yeah, man, untouchable at times.
Wow.
Untouchable at times. Untouchable. If you got the baseball packs like I do, you was up cheering, you was up rooting for him that night. He got 1 out away from having that no hitter. Only thing to make his, the perfect game. Only thing to make his resume complete at this point. But I think that Clayton Kershaw should definitely be getting his flowers. If you're a baseball fan and you enjoy pitching, that guy's the last of a dying breed. And it was an honor to get to say that I've seen him pitch numerous times. I've seen him pitch numerous times in the playoffs. Hats off to him, man. I never got a chance to see the big unit pitching person, but I did get a chance to see Greg Maddux pitching person a few times, and no one commanded anything the way that Greg Maddux does. Clayton Kershaw, to me, just of the guys that I've been able to be blessed enough to see live, come to close second.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. What a workhorse. He pitched 2,850 innings. 2,850. And we can't emphasize this enough, man. It's the end of an era. We're not going to see guys put together enough innings to put up 3,000 Ks. Like, this is something that might be the last time we see it. So breathe it in, man. We got to appreciate these moments because they all fly by so fast. I can't believe that Clayton Kershaw is already retiring, man. I mean, I can't believe that Dan Wilson is the manager. And sorry to whoever typed this earlier, but they're so spot on. The Mariners, 4 divisional titles. Dan Wilson and Edgar Martinez were leaders of the team, whether as players or whether they were part of the coaching staff. Some guys just have those leadership qualities. And okay, here's a moment I saw. So I always kind of wonder, how do guys really feel in pro sports about their coaches? Because lots of times it's very boss employee, as surface level and as professional as it gets. Dan Wilson's making his speech before they go crazy with his champagne, and I see this look in Julio's eyes, and it's of admiration of a man that you're going to follow into a dark alley.
Yes.
And it made me appreciate Dan so much more because that's not something we see. We don't get to see that. We only get to see when he puts in a reliever who gives it the game. Then we blame Dan Wilson. Well, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing? But so much of it's a manager. You're managing people, the leadership. And when I saw Julio's look and how he felt about Dan, you just saw it in his eyes. He didn't need to say a single word. And I'm sure the rest of the team feels the same way. And I'm just so thrilled that we have a leader these guys are willing to follow because it does not always happen like that in pro sports.
He doesn't feel as robotic as Service did at times. And watching the Mariners under him, it felt like once that phone went off, not the one that goes to the bullpen, but the one that gets the call from the boss who's telling you what to do because his computer says so, and Service would just fall in line. It definitely felt that Dan brought an element of realness to the team. And keep in mind, the last time that we won a division crown, Dan Wilson was the guy controlling that pitching staff that year that helped get us to 116 wins. So just like you said, man, when you have someone that you're willing to step into the foxhole with and go and do battles, it makes a mile the difference in how he's perceived and whether or not his message has fallen on deaf ears or if it's enough to get you in that rah-rah mode where you're ready to go run through a wall for him. So this was the season that we needed. again, the unsung MVP of all of this to me, as much as I hate to say it, is the front office, because you did the thing that we were screaming and asked you to do, and you finally put us in a position to get it done. Your stay of execution has been granted. But I swear to God, this is not over. It's not just about making your 54% prediction correct for 1 year. It needs to happen for multiple years. Houston had a 12-year dominating trade over this fucking division, the way that it seems. And a division, another division rival snuck in and won a World Series in that mix too. Getting to this dance is not enough. It has granted you a stay of execution, but moving forward, unless we break that trend of us being the only team that has failed to make the Fall Classic, your reign on the top is short like a leprechaun, according to the words of the notorious B.I.G. We still on your ass, but for right now, we give you some credit where credit's due, because you did the thing that we've been screaming for you to do. And then my only question is, why the fuck was that so hard?
Well, they might have had to ask their owner for a little more money to make all this happen.
And fuck him too.
And they're very protective over their prospects. And this is where I'll give him even a little bit more credit in this situation, is I would have been willing to part with way better prospects than they ended up dealing to make all these moves happen. So kudos to them. They must have said no to the Diamondbacks 5,000 times, because there ain't no way in hell that Tyler Locklear was their number one target of all these cats. And I wish him the best, but he is once again having hell in Major League Baseball. And who knows? I called Dominic Canzone a 4A hitter for the last 3 years, and he completely changed my mind by what he did on the field. But until we see otherwise, Tyler Locklear might be that guy. Well, let's go, man. You got 5 days to get your mind right and be ready to come out fucking swinging, laser focus, 110% effort, play for the guy next to you, pick up your brother ball. Somebody at some position is going to struggle in any given game because they're playing such good competition. That's when your brother's got to pick you up, and that's when the Mariners are at their best. If Suarez strikes out, then I need Dominic Canzone to knock that runner home, vice versa. Pick your brother up, ball. I am so fucking pumped, man.
Victor Robles, Polanco, Josh Naylor. One of you three is going to be the World Series MVP, and I can't wait to say that I said it here first.
Yeah.
Let's go win the fucking thing.
Dude, we actually have a first baseman that can hit 290 with 20-plus home runs.
Let's go win the fucking thing.
Dude, it's been way too long. We don't even know what it's like. That's what I'm talking about. It's time to get jacked up, man. It is really time. This series sweep against the Dodgers really brought my high down, man. And I'm glad you're starting to pump me back up, dude.
Man, we in Seattle. There's stuff around the corner you can go get your high back up, homie. All right, let's rock with the live chat. Let's see what they talking about.
Kershaw, first ballot. I kind of think that we're almost all in agreement to that. And okay, let's go one more direction. Live chat, chime in here. RG, I think it's obvious Cal's the team MVP. Who's the second MVP of the team?
The front office.
Oh,
front office.
Oh,
you did the thing we asked you to do for years. No retread tire projects. You went out and got Randy. You went out and got Polanco. Just when we thought it was dark, you went out and got Ferguson. Even though when we first saw that come across ESPN, I, like you, was like, who the fuck is this dude? But looking at his stats, was like, oh shit, we need old boy. Then we went out and got Naylor and Gino as well too. So again, the front office to me is the second MVP, because you did what was necessary. That you finally believed enough in this team to invest in it instead of trying to steal second base and keep your foot on first. And like you said, you made those deals done without blowing up your precious farm system. Shout out to Jerry and Justin. I will never do this again.
Yeah, this might be a first, man.
It is. First and last.
Well, this is good shit, man. This is good shit. Shall we transition into a little bit of gridiron here, or you got some more shit on your chest about this
I don't
wonderful
know, man.
season?
I don't know, man. I'm just so pumped up for the Mariners. We can sit and go around all night. We know not everybody that follows the show is a Mariner fan, but this is where we got our start from. What's the chat talking about? Let's see what they got. Y'all want to talk about how the Ravens aren't them? You want to talk
Oh,
about the resurgence of Patty Mahomes today? You want to talk about the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles? What y'all want to do, chat?
well, I want Tyson Baxter to clue us in on something. So, my favorite football team, the Seattle Seahawks, 3-1 start. Mike McDonald's looking super legit as a defensive mind. The Ravens have absolutely fallen apart on D. Tyson, how big of an impact was Mike McDonald to the Ravens, now to the Seahawks? But let's get into it. Your Philadelphia Eagles, man, 4-0. They're not really clicking on all cylinders, so that's a really promising way to start the season.
That's unfair to say just because AJ's a diva. And it's selfish to be me centric in a team game, especially when you have won 19 of your last 20, including the fucking Super Bowl. Yes, when times got tough against the Rams is when you've had your best game, but that's why you're on this team to contribute as a team. And if you don't want to be here, someone work me a deal. If you really want out, work as a deal, homie. But you're supposed to be in here for the long run. That's why you've been over there reading your book about better excellence. And sometimes, in the aftermath of everything that's gone on the last few weeks, 50 Cent said, I think it's time for someone to shut the fuck up. And I need you to shut the fuck up, AJ. Be a part of it or don't want to be a part of it. Not everything's going to go hunky dory and go your way. You were targeted 9 times a day and only had 2 catches out of it. Other than that, man, I know you love the wrinkle of the tush push where everybody dived in the middle and all of a sudden Saquon just right into the back of the end zone. And Baker Mayfield had been a nuisance to the Eagles over the last few years. Had been 3-1 against us with 6 touchdowns, and he did have 2 77-yard touchdown passes today against the boys. But they were up enough in front that they were able to withstand the comeback from him. And I like to bet on shit. They did the Indiana thing where they just ran the ball out the back of the end zone to clear the clock. So depending on what side of the number you were on, you may love or hate them for that. The only thing that matters to me is that they're 4-0 with a couple winnable games coming up in front of us where we have a chance to create some separation in the division.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, here's my question then. Is there any boiling point where you would want to trade AJ Brown, or you want to ride with this no matter what?
This is becoming TO version 2 where every 3 weeks we have to listen to you complain about how unhappy you are, man. Just don't bust up team chemistry because of it. The team is doing okay, and if you don't want to be part of the team's success because you want more, it makes me wonder where he's at in his contract and if he has some incentive-laden things that he's complaining that he's not being involved in the offense more. But again, you were targeted 9 times a day. They can only do so much. They can only do so much. There's a lot to go around. You got AJ, you got Devontae, you got Dallas Goedert, you got Saquon, you got a running quarterback in Jalen who can throw and pass if he absolutely needed to. Don't sleep on his passing game. But I just don't need this. I just don't need this. If you want to be a part of it, you'll find a way to shut the fuck up and become a part of the team. If not, man, hey, it's been a cool run. Thank you for helping us win that Super Bowl. If you don't want to be here, your services are no longer needed.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, here's the thing with AJ Brown is I know he might not be getting the catches, but the Eagles are giving him his respect. He signed a 3-year, $96 million deal with 51 guaranteed at signing. They guaranteed him 51 million with 96 at the peak of the contract. That's the respect. And so this is what frustrates me too, RG, is I understand, like, say you're a 5th-round pick, you're putting up huge stats, you haven't been paid yet, you get a really nice living, but that's not generational wealth. Well, AJ Brown's gotten that money. He's gotten that generational wealth, and it is kind of frustrating because you said it. A lot of money's tied into stats. So I get it, man. When guys aren't putting up the numbers, that's what's going to get them that life-changing contract for them and the future people in their family. That's not the case here.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's week 4. What the fuck are we talking about?
4-0.
And we're 4-0. It's week 4. What are we complaining about? There's plenty of time to still prove that you are the guy. But go out and prove that you are the guy. Maybe he's just not built for this. And I hate to say it because I'm happy to have him, man. I was excited when we got him. I think he's a beast of an athlete. But put the team first, especially when it could be worse, man. It could absolutely be worse. You could be George Pickens last year.
You could still be on the Titans. That team looks like they might not be able to win a
absolutely-
game.
You could absolutely be out there balling in Nashville with Cam Ward. It's not all about the personal sometimes. But again, I'm not the one that makes $90-some million over the course of a 3-year contract. So maybe I'm wrong. But it looks like what was going on in Philly, you might want to be there to be a part of it.
I sure would. Grass ain't always greener.
At all.
What, they've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years?
Yes. And he's been a major part of those. Has caught touchdown passes in each of those 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not a part of it, man. I don't know, man. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Maybe he's pulling a Jonte Porter and betting on himself. Since he's not hitting his prop parlays, he's upset.
The homies are on his ass because he's getting the under every time on the props.
Big Dom coming for them thumbs.
Mariners Lifer made an interesting point here. He wants AJ Brown. I like the alliteration, whatever you would want to call it, needs to create separation on the field before the division in the locker room. And here's one thing I truly believe, RG. Route runners are more consistent football players.
Yes.
Tyler Lockett isn't close to DK Metcalf as an athlete. He was always more consistent because he's a great route runner. Devontae Smith seems to be a more consistent player. He's a great route runner. Nothing wrong with physical freaks. Calvin Johnson might be my favorite wide receiver ever.
True.
But in my soul, in my heart, I truly believe route runners are more consistent. We look at game logs, we look at season stats year after year after year, we'll find that. So it is a little harder when you're just a freak athlete, as crazy as that sounds, because you're playing other freak athletes as well.
True. And again, we don't know what the problem is. We don't know what the problem is internally. Go from there, but this is the second go around. It's almost reminiscent of Donovan McNabb and T.O. I just don't understand what the issue is when winning happens to be a part of the formula. If this was the fall off from when we had the 10-1 record, by all means, I could understand banging your head against the wall. But we've been hotter than fish grease over the last 22 games and just don't understand why we're here right now, AJ. I just don't.
Well, the Eagles traded for him on draft night. They gave him a fat extension immediately that night. This is another extension. This isn't even the first extension Philly's given him. It's the second extension. They've really they've literally put their money where their mouth is in terms of what they think of him. So hopefully he can get his mind right again and get rolling. Another huge thing in the NFL right now is it's shocking me. We were talking about this on the train on our way back from the stadium, RG. The Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson gets hurt. They're 1-3. And what we think of the Baltimore Ravens defense is 1,000% wrong in our perception because it looks like this D can't stop anybody.
I've been screaming in my Discord for those of you who are into throwing a little bit of change around. I'll slide that Discord number to you later. But we've been talking about how the perception of when you see that Baltimore Raven logo, you still think that Ed Reed and Ray Lewis are back there and Hacksaw. That is not the case with these guys. Harbaugh has led up 17 double-digit leads. 17 double-digit leads. And look at the course of the way these games have gone. They were dominating Buffalo, and Buffalo came back and tapped that ass. They struggled against the Browns. Detroit shouldn't have. Detroit did whatever the fuck they wanted to do to Baltimore's defense, and then Patty Mahomes throws for 4 touchdowns. Are three of those teams better than the one performance in Baltimore? I mean, in Cleveland, absolutely. But you're supposed to be the team that can compete for this for this AFC crown to finally get Patty Mahomes off that perch. And right now, you're not performing like it. Um, Jair Alexander, where the hell has that guy been? Non-existent form. Kyle Hamilton hasn't really had the year that he's had. Roquan Smith was was the hottest talk 2 years ago, and then now nobody's really out there looking for him either. Man, Baltimore's got some issues, and it's going to take them some real a real come to Jesus moment to figure this thing out. But when you're sitting there making your selections each and every Sunday, please don't be afraid of that Ravens logo when it comes to defense until they prove they can stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, the facts are the facts, man. Baltimore Ravens were my defense for fantasy football, and they have been long gone a couple of weeks ago because the writing's on the wall. And now we're 4 games in. It's hard to believe you're right because you look at another team, the Steelers. That defense isn't the defense you always expect. I saw the Seahawks, although they got one lucky touchdown, that's still 24 points on the road in a hostile environment. I love Sunday evening media looking up these stats for us. Leaders in receiving yards: Puka #1, JSN #2, Amon-Ra St. Brown at #5. Possession receivers rule, technicians, route runners, pure wide receivers. One of my favorite guys ever is actually Reggie Wayne. Pure receivers, route runners, getting in and out of your breaks, hands. These key things that we seem to overlook because I follow this all the time too. It's easy to fall in love with a freak athlete when you're trying to build a pro team, but it's the guys that get in and out of their breaks who can create leverage against the coverage. And there's another one. How well do you read the defense? How well do you read are you able to be in sync with your quarterback? Because we know in the NFL, basically every route's an option route.
True.
So how well do you read the defense as a receiver? So many factors. Tyson Baxter thinks John Harbaugh needs to go. He's on thin ice right now. I firmly believe that if Lamar Jackson didn't catch fire when he did at that exact time, Harbaugh would have been long gone out of there. So we'll see how that goes. I can't believe the Chargers lost today, though. I was just gonna say I'm so impressed with the Harbaugh and the Chargers, and they go and lay an 8. I can't even remember who it was, but
The Giants.
Giants at New Jackson Dart's first start.
Jackson Dart's first start.
Boy.
If I'm Russell Wilson, I'm gonna start to sell some of Sierra's pretty shit because you may need a backup plan for retirement sooner than later, buddy.
She's not getting ludicrous features anymore.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since. Oh, I'm just saying. Maybe they find a way to get Future to send them child support money.
No doubt. No, man, I'm with Mariners Life for Russ is rich. Yeah. Future wishes he had that kind of cash flow, man.
That's why he let him. I'm gonna stop.
Okay, here's another great one. It seems like the football media was just jerking off the Packers 2 minutes ago. The Packers lose to the Browns. They're currently losing to the Cowboys. Are the Packers frauds, or am I tripping and overblowing it? This is the NFL. Anyone can get got at any time.
Week 4 last year, week 4 this time, the Eagles had lost to Tampa Bay, and everyone was talking about what's wrong with the program, and then we've only lost 1 game since. So it's week 4 in the NFL, dog. Calm down and forget. That's what the media is supposed to do. They're supposed to hype you up on certain teams to get you to buy into certain narratives. They do that not only in sports, but in other things as well, too. But this isn't that type of podcast.
Make up your own mind out here.
Make it up.
Make it up.
But yeah, man. And it's not that they can't figure it out. You know, Love's still a good quarterback. They got some weapons around him. It's still just early. And you never really know who you got until you got there. Don't forget that in probably the time that we've been Force fans together, we've seen a couple 6 seeds win Super Bowl. So it just all depends on when you get hot at the right time.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I'm going to say the Dallas Cowboys pull the upset tonight. Live chat, chime in. Texas Power Ranger asking who wins. I'm going to say the Cowboys pull it out at home. And I've been on record here before saying I think Brian Schottenheimer is a better coach than most people give him credit for. He probably, resume wise, shouldn't be in this position, but this is where we're at. And we know he comes from a lineage, man. Dirty Dozen, Naughty Rotten Rhymer, Chris Netchie players worse than Marty Schottenheimer, man. This family's been doing it for a long time. And if Russell Wilson wasn't getting so high on his horse, I don't think Brian ever would have been fired from the Seahawks. They fired the OC to make the quarterback happy. Everything kind of unraveled after that. But I want to get into my Seahawks for a minute. 3-1. Sam Darnold looks like a solid to really good starting quarterback in this league. He's still only in his mid 20s. And RG, I believe that teams have no clue what they're doing at the bottom of the league in so many areas. Why is it that it seems like every Jets retread quarterback finds success somewhere else? This shit's not an accident.
Gino played for the Jets.
Yeah. He
Sam
found
Darnold
himself.
Played for the Jets.
Darnold played for the Jets.
Looks like the only one who didn't was Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Something about in the water up there, dog. Woody Johnson needs to get that temperature checked up there. But if you're a Seahawks fan, you're in a good position. We'll see how y'all handle mixtape bake. Looks like the NFC West is going to, take a moment to pause their breaks this week. The Rams still look good. Puka Nacua has proven that he might be the best wide receiver in football. I know that Jamar and Justin would have something to say about that, but the proof is in the pudding with that guy. All he does is just make catch after catch after catch, and when you think you have him stopped, you haven't. I know firsthand because he was putting belts to Philly's asses a couple weeks ago. But if you're the Seahawks, man, you're in a good position where you want to be. It's really all out in front of you. Your schedule works out that you avoid some killers, and really it's just about getting to the dance and seeing what you can do on the other side of that. So it was the only bright spot for the Seattle sports market this week. God knows the Mariners and the Huskies didn't give them none.
Well, let's just talk about this for a minute. We had some unbelievable seats to the Huskies Ohio State game.
Shout out to Katie.
Shit, thank you for my wonderful wife. But some things you see, I'm telling y'all, Jeremiah Smith is as big as the Huskies defensive ends, and that guy flies. I knew he was fast, RG, but when he was on that crossing route to score that first touchdown, unbelievable. It looked like everybody else was in quicksand, and he's flying by everybody. The Huskies, I believe, are a solid team. I believe they should be ranked around 23 to 25, in my opinion. But there was, from my eye test, a clear difference in the athlete, team to team. And although I'm not very high on Ohio State's offense necessarily, that defense is full of dudes.
Yeah, man, the defense did travel. The defense made its way here from Columbus, and they did what they were supposed to do. If you're the Huskies, you're not in a bad spot. Just a terrible time. Again, you were fighting. You were in the fight to not get touched up, but you didn't do enough offensively to really make them respect you. And for some reason, Ryan Day had a very hard time being aggressive with his team too. He was playing to maintain early, even when they didn't have the lead. And then when he realized he had the best player on the field, they went right to him in the low block, and there was nothing that the Huskies could do about it. But for me, being from New Mexico, where we had a sellout for the rivalry game between the Lobos and the Aggies, that's still only 46,000 people. There were 80,000 people in Husky Stadium Saturday night. Saturday afternoon, and it was fucking raucous, man. It was a great atmosphere. They say it's the best setting in college football. It's a gorgeous setting. I wouldn't completely go there just because there's still some monsters out in the SEC where those game days are unrivaled. But to be a part of the Big Ten 1:30 CBS start, I say 1:30 just because I'm from the Mountain Time Zone, and that's what time it comes on there. But to be a part of the CBS afternoon college football game, it was something else, man. It was fantastic. I wish the Huskies were able to put up more of an offensive fight. But you feel bad for this guy for losing his scholarship moment of the weekend. The Huskies called a fake punt throw to the tight end, and the tight end forgot the ball was going to him and decided to block instead of going out to the rush for the pass. And where we were sitting at, you should have seen the ass chewing that boy got, not only from his coaches, but from his teammates.
Oof. Man, that sucks. That sucks. It's a huge game. You're an underdog. And we talked about this. The Huskies just did not play a clean enough brand of football across the board to pull off that upset.
True.
They had to play an extremely clean game. They had to make some explosive plays. They had to cause more turnovers. And none of those things happened, and it ended up kind of getting away from them.
True. And converting is so hard to do when the field is shorter that it takes away some of the freedom that you have when you're not confident enough to call the plays. But again, really, you're in this position playing with house money. Run the dice with it. Your defense was doing well enough. You could have. There wasn't just enough. They didn't have enough power to get the bully off of them. They couldn't find that particular punch. And they had some chances that missed field. They missed the field goal, and then that fake field goal kind of just turned the tide. And once Ohio State found what was working, it was just lights out for them for there. But shout out to the University of Washington for putting on a great show. I'd like to give a shout out to the Masamotos for having me up here. It was great to get to attend a game like that, being that I'm from an area where I always have to travel to be a part of that atmosphere. And it was great. Even the atmosphere at a T-Mobile Park this weekend was off the chain. All 3 games were sold out. Crowds showed up early. Was fun to be a part of. Some of the other trips I've made up here to Seattle to go to T-Mobile Park, I mean, I was able to get great seats walking in the door just because there was no one really there. But Seattle showed out this weekend. It was great. It was great to be here for that.
Well, the Mariners as an organization, they need to do their part. I stand on this that the Seattle Mariners fan base is as loyal as it gets in America. We just went through a 24-year drought for winning the division. They don't deserve everyone to be coming to the ballpark when they're putting out a lackluster product and not caring about how the standings look. So this does make me happy. But shout out to our buddy Nico, man. I forgot earlier, amongst all the excitement, our friends at Romantic About Baseball, man. We are so proud to be part of the Baseball Lovers Alliance. You want to talk about excellent MLB content. So many good pods part of that team. Romantic About Baseball, our friends on Facebook. Follow them and RG. All of this football. I am usually very locked into the gridiron this time of year, but it feels so good to be locked into the sweet sport of baseball.
Baseball is my first love. Baseball is my first love, and the fact that the Mariners are in a position to exercise more of those demons from the years I spent in 17 and 18, running up and down the streets of Albuquerque, telling Yankee fans to watch out because we was coming. Don't make me out alive 24 years later. But this is a great time to be a part of it, man. The excitement was in the city. The excitement was in the fan base. The players have themselves a blast this week. Unfortunately, it did cost them a weekend series against the Dodgers. But, it's put up or shut up time come Saturday. And whoever comes out of the rematch for the AL East, we'll be ready for them. We need to be. It's now or never. Let's put it into this drought of being the only team that's not made it to it. There's pretty good articles on ESPN or wherever you get your baseball content from that are giving you plenty good reasons why they think the Mariners can. Wu is attached to a lot of reasons why they think that they can't just because of his health. But we've been built for this. We've been saying that we've had the best starting pitching rotation in baseball the last few years. Time to prove it, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Win the fucking thing, Mariners.
Hey, Cal Raleigh even said it on local cable TV. The FCC won't let Cal be because on the root airwaves, bro. Let's go win the whole fucking thing. There's t-shirts being made about that. I love the enthusiasm. And if y'all don't know, this city, this state, the Mariners, all the Pacific Northwest states, there's so many Mariners fans in Alaska. There's Mariners fans in Oregon, Idaho, Montana. Since we're up here so far away from the rest of the country in the greater Seattle area, there's several states that cheer for this team. And I really hope that they can give us all something to cheer about because y'all know I'll be an emotional mess if the Mariners finally do it because I know I'm not the only person that have a lot of family looking down from heaven that wish they could have seen that moment themselves.
Yeah, man, it's real big for the people from up here, and just lucky that as a 14-year-old kid, I was exposed to the Seattle area, fell in love with it, and over New York City. This is my favorite city in America to come to, and a big shout out to Tyler and Katie for inviting me up for this weekend. And man, it was great. It was great. I wish we could have got to see some more W's. Katie did get to see Ohio State win, so Tyler's life was about to be hell for the next 365 days until the rematch. But that is what it is when you cheer for the Huskies, dog. I'm only here for the Mariners.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, man. Hey, this has been fun. This has been great. What's going on over there in the live chat, Ty?
Everyone just go M's, man. It's that time. It's that time. We can dissect everything, and I almost want to wait because we could do way too long of a show dissecting the season. I want to have some playoff games to dissect, and the next time will be a couple games in, and it is go time. Lock in, man.
Gonna be a fun one, man. Gonna be a fun one, man. First live show next to each other instead of 1,000 miles away from each other, baby. Yeah, we got a chance to link up and do this. For those of you who follow some of our social medias, we actually have a new X account, so be on the lookout for that as well too. Ty, is there anything else you got for the people?
Shout out to the live chat, and let's go win the whole fucking thing, baby.
You know I love it, man. I used to pray for times like this to run like this. Let's go. Let's go. Turn it up. This has been My Oh My. It's another sports podcast brought to you by the good folks of Vaden Podcast Services. Big shout out to our super producer, Indy. Hey, man, he handled that technical difficulty like a G. Again, we thank you for being patient with us while we had to get some things rearranged around here. Big shout out to Indy, man, and Mother Control in Nashville, Tennessee for holding us down each and every week. Don't forget to check out his music page here on YouTube at Death to Indy. Go check out some of his tracks. As always, a big shout out to our social media director, Miss Katie Matsumoto. Thank you for all that you do for us. Well, we are up on Facebook. We are up on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you feel like calling it. That's where we're at. TikTok, Snapchat. So check out some of the live shots that me and Ty took while we were hanging out this weekend here in the lovely city of Seattle. Don't forget to follow us on our socials at My Oh My ASP. Again, that is My Oh My ASP, like it says at the top of the YouTube banner page. My Oh My ASP. Big shout out to the guys from Romantic About Baseball. And how could you not be romantic about October baseball, especially when the Mariners are the 2 seed moving forward into the rest of the playoffs this year. We are live in Lake Stevens, Washington tonight. The dude on my side, the one and only Ty Talks 24. Again, a big shout out to Mother Control out in Nashville, Tennessee. Super producer Indy holding it down. I'm on vacation, y'all. I got 1 day left. I leave tomorrow, headed back to the Cinco Settle Cinco, but it's all love from Mexico all the way up here to the Bay, baby. That dude they call RG. It is time to go win the fucking thing, Seattle Mariners. First pitch is Saturday. Don't forget to look for your local listens to see where you can catch it. I believe this series is going to be carried on Fox. Let's do the damn thing, baby. One time, man. My oh my. It's another sports podcast. Signing off.